Therapy. All right, so the topic of conversation is therapy. If you're human, you have trauma. Trauma that you've accumulated over time. Why? Because your parents weren't perfect from childhood. Your life hasn't been perfect. And over time, it's built up. You haven't handled trauma, and that trauma seems to express itself in certain ways in our life. Trauma therapy, that's for crazy people. That's for unstable people. That's a bad stigma. Who who needs to go to therapy? You need to go to therapy. I don't want to be in a psych ward. And so we have an unhealthy relationship with hearing therapy and seeking help for what we go through. So what we notice, what we see is that people don't like to be uncomfortable. People don't like to go outside of the norm, social norm or personal norms. But if there's a norm, standard is set, people don't want to deviate from the standard. So what we got going on is hoping that I'm speaking to men right now, but that's who my target audience is. But if women are here as well, let's say hypothetically, we had the situation, someone is born and they have two parents, and their parents have trauma. Their parents haven't been going to therapy, and their parents lash out in ways that aren't particularly healthy. And the children who are too weak to defend themselves, they acquiesce to how their parents act because they can't provide for themselves, they can't provide food for themselves, they can't provide shelter for themselves, clothes for themselves. So kids tend to, regardless of whether what is happening is wrong or right, they're going to, I said acquiesce because it sounded good, but they're going to regardless of whatever their parents are doing, whether it's wrong or right, they're going to conform to that because that's all they know. So people, that may be you talking. I'm going to give an example. In my life, I've always been a average student. A really naturally smart, yes, but not talent. Without without hard work is not going to grow into anything high level or meaningful. So I remember having immigrant parents and doing homework when they're teaching me to do homework, teaching me to like learn and do math and times table. Having no patience, they would start being physical. And so I would anticipate the physicality and I would associate that with, I would dislike homework. I would dislike sitting down. So I had no study habits. And that came to fester in college because so I was smart enough to do well on quizzes. I was smart enough to learn material and do well in I would do well in the school setting, but I wouldn't do homework. I wouldn't I can pass tests, but I wouldn't stand out and do like a 90s valedictorian type of student because of my relationship stemming from my parents with homework and academia. So that's just an example of how trauma can, from early childhood and youth, can fester into adult relations. And that can go for dating, that can go for relationships, that can go with money management, that can go with smoking, alcohol, drug abuse, a whole bunch of things. So, trauma. So, how do you handle trauma? Well, first off, you need a licensed professional, preferably. Someone who is, they're literally trained to deal with it. There's been a big stigma against trauma. So what you want is a licensed professional who can help you with what you're going through. Now, be I'm about to say a physical therapist. That would be a licensed clinician. I don't know. Yeah, that would be a therapist for therapy. You're getting therapy for your trauma. And what you'll notice is that majority of because there's a stigma against only crazy people need therapy. I don't need therapy. I don't need what? I don't need therapy. I'm not crazy. I don't want to end up in a straitjacket. XYZ. So yeah, so if you want to excel in life, you have to be mindful that things aren't perfect. If you want a higher quality of life, higher quality in the sense that you want to be able to handle the problems of life, and you don't want people don't shouldn't dance around your triggers. So let's say that you're sensitive to say sexual assaults or a whole bunch of things. People, the society doesn't owe you understanding. Unfortunately, that's people shouldn't have to dance around you and what you've gone through and use terms and buzzwords because, oh, they went through this and that. You need to go and seek out healing for what you went through. And people don't want to, it's not, the term you use is not your fault, but it's your problem. It's your problem that you're reacting in certain ways which aren't getting you the results you want. It's your problem that you aren't as healthy as you want to be or could be. And so, what do? You could just say, "Hey, it is what it is, and it'll never get better. It's always been that way. It's always been bad, so I shouldn't expect any better." But I think that's a cop out. You should say, "Hey, I'm responsible for my life. I want my life to be better. I'm gonna deal with these traumas, and so that I can experience life in the highest form. I can experience life even better than I'm experiencing it now." And I think that if you're honest, you'd be like, "Yeah, I don't want to anything that I'm struggling with because I've been through it." I'm sure you have some weird story that or an old shit story where you're like, "Yo, oh man, this guy's been through something." And everybody thinks that, "Hey, I thought this story was normal until I told it to somebody." Whether it's a discipline story from their parents, whether it's struggle of just growing up. So therapy and the need to seek out wanting to be better. So wanting to be better than yesterday, wanting to have a better quality life than yesterday. And majority of people won't seek out that help due to them not wanting to be seen as different. Maybe they don't have the finances, or maybe they just if I've never seen my parents go to therapy, why would I go to therapy, man? You feel me? So yeah, the topic of the day is therapy. Hopefully you learned something about it. Would you go to therapy? Have you gone to therapy? A lot of people look at therapy as not working. Only time you go to therapy or you hear about therapy is like a marriage counselor for like people on the brink of divorce and they send their kids to therapy because it's the thing to do. And a lot of people have a lot of negative connotations of therapy and what it is, but I think in the right setting, in the right, if you have a goal, you shouldn't be at therapy forever. Meaning you're not supposed to just be in therapy for like years and years and years on end. You should go to therapy with a goal and an aim, and your goal is to get better. So let's say I grew up and I'm afraid of elevators and being claustrophobic. My goal should be that, and hey, it could be we could be up on the 40th floor of a building. I'll take the stairs because I'm afraid of elevators because of my negative trauma. And my goal should be that if after I graduate therapy, I should be comfortable in elevators. That whatever I was uncomfortable with before, and I had trauma. Maybe I got stuck in an elevator once, and I never or an elevator. I was in the elevator and it dropped, and I never wanted to be put in that situation again. Now I have my trauma, and so I now avoid elevators. I should want to if go to therapy with the goal of graduating and now I'm not afraid of elevators anymore. So if you're going to go to therapy, there should be a goal of graduation and an improvement in quality of life. Some people just stay in therapy and their quality of life doesn't improve, and you have been in therapy 20 years and nothing's changed. No, we want something to change. We want something to get better. We want our quality of life to be better than it was before. And that's the whole point of going, right? You would think. So you've never seen it before. Your parents have never done it. Your brothers have never done it. Your sisters have never done it. Your cousins have never done it. Hey, it's gonna start with you. You seeing the future that you want starts with you.